It is now officially summer, and in this video I will set up my bullet journal for July. Originally, I was supposed to be overseas right now, but that didn't happen because of the pandemic. As I can't go anywhere, I thought it would be nice to instead bring the world to me, so to speak, and to use the opportunity that I won't need that much space for planning in July to make collages with pictures of my previous travels, journeys, or excursions. So all the pictures you see me use throughout the videos are pictures I took myself, and I printed them out in 3 different sizes so I could use them in a flexible way in creating the collage. This first picture that I use as a backdrop for my header is actually from a very old graveyard in southern Germany. And I always really like to take a walk over this graveyard and just be around the very special atmosphere there. I have not pre-planned any of what you will see me doing, what style or what color theme I would go with. I just figured that out as I went on. The July header, I just tried out different things. It is supposed to be a little messy with the white and the colors and then the black framing, so it's not supposed to be all clean. So I purposely made sure that some color would like transgress the black lines, or some white would be inside of the black lines, because I was going for a more like scrapbooky and imperfect look. My trackers for the month, I always adjust to my needs or goals. For this month, it is self-care, so one thing at a day that I do for myself. Then of course, keeping up with the news, language, and I want to stop eating after 8 because I really love to have dinner around 10, and I just think health-wise I should pay attention to not eating too late. This building with the dome is the entrance of the exact same graveyard as the picture behind my header. And this one really shows that this is a graveyard from the 19th century, and I just like to be around places like that. Here you can see how I struggled with the overview header. I just realized that there was something wrong with it, but couldn't exactly identify what, so I just kept trying writing it down until my guts told me it looked right. This mini pavilion here I found in a park in New York City, and I thought behind the trees it has this Lord of the Ring vibe, and I just thought it had to go in my journal. Setting up this collage theme was a lot of choosing pictures, arranging them, cutting them, rearranging them, testing combinations, gluing them down. And I tried to show you this process a little bit, but I also shortened it a lot because I didn't want to present to you an hour-long video. Looking for a theme for the next spread, where I have my notes page and my finance tracker, I decided to go for trees and flowers. Nope, no Turkish breakfast on this page, even though it looks delicious. And I decided for these beautiful baobabs behind the mangroves and started to build up my collaging of this spread from here. This picture with the baobabs I shot in the Saloum Delta in Senegal in West Africa. And next to it, I added this beautiful architecture from the Alliance Française in Ziguinchor, which is the capital of the region Casamance in the south of Senegal. So this is like a French Senegalese cultural center, and it was one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever been to. I would like to make a little excursion into the question of diversity in the planner community and in the bullet journaling community in particular. If you search for bullet journal content, it's usually not the work of Black creators that is suggested. I would like to draw your attention to an Instagram account that is called Black in BuJo that was created very recently by Temi Danso and Marsha from Do Salut. And this is just supposed to be a platform that features and promotes the content of Black creators. And in my opinion, it is a much needed project within the bullet journaling community. So let us support this and let us consciously build and shape and diversify our feeds. The next section is going to be for all the 5 weeks of July that I always set up in advance so that I can pre-plan, and I like to frame my entire week section with Dutch doors. So first I cut the sides of the inner pages and then the top, leaving 1 tab for each week. So that makes 5 tabs that you see me sketching out here. For the last 2 weeks, I miscounted the size of the tabs, but the yellow one was easy to fix, and I also managed to patch the purple one. The color still shines through the patch a little bit, but that doesn't bother me at all. I generally like the scrapbooky style of the very thin paper of my Leuchtturm journal that allows some ghosting. Now this gorgeous pattern I found at the back wall of the Public Library of New Orleans, and I had the vision to turn it into my weekday headers. That required some fiddly cutting, and I also stepped into the trap that I didn't sketch out the letters invertedly. That basically doesn't matter for the M's and T's, but for the S, for example, I first cut it out the wrong way, so the S was flipped. And I had to do it again, which I found quite sad because I really like the multicolored pattern of this inverted S. In order for the letters to pop more, I decided to just give them a black frame. Here again, I went with some trees, a baobab, and a very beautiful red tree that I don't know that matches perfectly with this teal gate. Both of these pictures are again from the Saloum Delta in Senegal. And as you can probably tell by now, I just love trees and the baobab is my favorite one. Week 2 is going to be my Turkish week with the Nazar Bonjour, the blue eye that is like a talisman, and of course, Turkish breakfast. I tried to use all the different types of materials that I could find in the shelves and boxes where I store my stationery. So besides stickers and washi tape, I also added a print-on sticker. The next week has one of my favorite pictures ever, which shows the swamp outside of New Orleans. It creates a really fairy tale-like atmosphere and invites the observer to dream. On the lower right corner, you see the Shenandoah River, and it's not quite apparent, but there is an old and rusty, probably abandoned bridge, like a little ephemeral human touch to this beautiful nature. My main picture for the next spread is this Baroque style palace, which was the residency of the Grand Dukes of Baden in the southwest of Germany, built in the beginning of the 18th century. Behind this picture, I put an autumn scene from upstate New York. And another print-on sticker just because it's fun. For my last weekly spread, I have these different pathways. First, a Central European graveyard, then a North American forest, and last, this garden in West Africa. What's left now is to fill in the tabs with the dates of the week, as well as the daily dates. For the headers, I always use these leftover stripes of paper. And this header is going to be for the One Lie in a Day spread. My last video was all about this spread, and I will link it down below. The pictures I choose for this spread are actually university buildings that are meaningful to me personally. Some of them old, others rather pretending to be old. I like the arc in this picture, but the buildings left and right to it are very massive. However, I don't want to completely cut them out because I like the branches of the tree that are basically framing the whole image. I also wanted to show you one of the many times that I messed up. In this case, where I just started to glue down the header without making sure that I have all the letters spaced well. I basically just had to remove what I had already placed down and first arrange all the letters and then in a second step glue them down. I ended up being pretty unhappy with the performance of this glue stick, and I had to go over it with double-face adhesive tape later on. The little building with the dome is the only picture in this entire spread that is not a university building, but I just thought it would match well in the overall architectural theme. And for the one I'm putting down right now, the building is hidden behind the trees, which is a general vibe that I like a lot, the conjuncture of nature and architecture. It is a building from the 18th century and ranges among the oldest building of the United States that really has history, which is something that I value a lot about buildings. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you want to support me, give it a like. If you want to see more of my content, subscribe. And I wish you all a sunny summer month of July.